Hi, Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Diksha, it's better. Yeah, I think
Awesome. I see some people
good.
mentioning that they can also hear and see us. So I think that's great. If you can hear me and I can hear you, we can get started with the session.
Right. Yes, yes.
Awesome. Okay. So again, first of all, I'm sorry to all the viewers for the technical issues, but hopefully we won't be facing any issues from now onwards. Hi, I am Deeksha, and today's session is going to be about the best time to apply for your education loans. As a speaker for today's session, we have Krishna Priya with us, who's the sales manager for loans at EduFund. So welcome to the session again, Krishna Priya.
Thank you, Diksha. Thank you so much.
I'm very excited to have you here, and it is my understanding that this is your first time going live on Instagram. So, but I know you're gonna do great. So shall we get started with the questions?
Yes, Diksha. Thank you so much. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, the topic is about the best to start your application process. So, I would like to go on the same line for the first question to sort of set a base. So, I would like to talk about the entire loan application timeline. So, can you tell our viewers a bit about explain the timeline for an education loan, and should they synchronize it with the college deadlines as well?
Yes. All right. So basically, see, for a student, the ideal time to start the education loan process would be 6 months before the commencement of the respective intake. Now we're looking at the fall 24 intake. Now is the right time to start. All right. It's always good to start the process early on so that, you have enough time to figure out the best offers and also avoid any last minute hurry and hassles. And another very important thing that students should know about is that they do not have to wait for an offer letter to start the loan application process. Lenders start the loan application process if the student has taken their any aptitude or language proficiency tests such as IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, Duolingo, or PTE. So, and in the event that test scores are not available, a few lenders also accept the university application acknowledgement. So yes, the ideal time to start the application process is 6 months prior to the commencement of the intake. And in a few instances, universities require students to submit the proof of funds to receive an offer letter. So in this case, I would advise the students to start the process 6 months prior to the uh, application deadline, the university application deadline. So they have enough time to secure their funding. Right.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting answer. And you have mentioned a lot of things as well, which we're gonna, discuss further as well. But one thing that you mentioned that it's always great to apply early, right? And we all know that shubh kaam mein deri kaisi. But let's talk about the benefits of it all. So, students should apply earlier, and as you mentioned, at least 6 months before the commencement. But what are the benefits for students for applying early on in a long run? Like, why should they do it?
Right. So see, sorting out finances for higher studies abroad is often one of the most stressful parts of the whole process, the whole journey. All right. And it's not very often that a student today has sufficient savings or the required financial backup to finance their studies abroad. And one of the
Okay.
biggest advantages of applying for a loan early on is that it it allows you to negotiate with the lenders to get better offers. So you can try for lower rates of interest. You have enough time. Okay, so it allows you to negotiate with lenders for lower rates of interest, as well as maybe a higher loan sanction amount. And the student will also have more time to evaluate and identify the best loan offer. And the sooner
Right.
the sooner a student is able to sort out the required finances, the more time that they will have to focus on other important things without any stress. For example, sorting out accommodation, planning their travel,
Right.
and most important, yeah, and most importantly, spending quality time with family before flying out. Yes.
Absolutely, yes. No, very, very,
Yes.
very well said. As you mentioned that, they will have plenty of time to prepare and do other things as well that they need to do before leaving the country. So that brings me to my next question, which is about the documentation of it all. So what are some key documents and some kind of financial preparations that students need to do before they start applying for their education loan?
All right. So, see, for students, this is something that every student considering their studies abroad should know about. So, two key factors. Yeah. So, key factors that influence an education loan offer are: one, the previous academic track record, and second, the co-applicant's financial stability. So, most of the Indian lenders require a co-applicant to come on board the loan along with the student for financial
Okay.
stability. All right. Now, coming to the documents that a student is required to submit, they will be required to submit all certificates and mark sheets up to the latest educational qualification, and the basic KYC documents such as Aadhaar and PAN. And also, if they have given any tests such as IELTS, TOEFL, GMAT, GRE, Duolingo, or PTE, they would be required to submit this. And when it comes to the co-applicant documents mainly are the financial documents that that they would be required to submit as income proof. So they would be required to furnish the latest 2-year ITRs or Form 16, income
Right.
proof documents, salary proof documents, salary slips, bank statements, KYC documents again like Aadhaar and PAN, and a permanent address proof. So these are
Right.
the basic documents that are required.
Wow, that was a very detailed answer, and I hope the students who have joined us right now are, paying attention because I think this is very important information being given away for free. Before I jump to the next question that I have prepared for you, I would like to take some questions from the audience as well because I see some people who have left their questions. So there's this question from Call Me Sai. He wants to know how much loan amount will you provide? So would you like to take this question, Krishnapriya?
Yes,
I know
yes,
it's a very broad question, but
a very good
if you'd like
question,
to,
but
yes,
I will try. I'll try answering that.
great.
So, what was the question
Yeah.
again?
How much will you provide? I think they're trying to ask what loan amount can you provide me with?
All right. Okay. So we're partnered with almost 15 lenders, and we can fund. So there are two different kinds of loans. Okay. We have secured loans and we have unsecured loans. So for unsecured loans, the current market, like the maximum unsecured limit is 1 crore. And for secured loans, we can fund up to 100% of the collateral value, but they should be in line. The amount being asked for should be in line with your cost of attendance, which is, the cost of living plus cost of tuition. So 100% of your requirement can be financed.
Right, and which is very interesting for students who are having a hard time managing funds for their education. Just like Sai, all of you can ask our speaker questions right now, and your questions will be answered right away. So do not miss out on this opportunity right now. Another question we have from Gitali, which is it tough to secure education loans from European universities?
No, not at all. Lenders, see, there is no limitation or restriction on applying to a country of your choice. In 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 today's time, lenders can finance almost every course as well as the countries. Countries is not a limit.
Great. Great. Yeah, and to get more information about this as well, you can drop your contact details with us and avail our free consultation as well. Just in case your questions aren't answered in this session, you can definitely DM us as well. So another question I have, Krishna Priya, which is about, the entire application process could be daunting as well for some. Uh, um, we are there to help us, throughout the entire process. But sometimes students who are not, taking help from, let's say, experts or advisors, they might come across some common mistakes. So, what are some mistakes that they do make during their application process, and how can they avoid these
Right.
mistakes?
Frequent, or like one of the most common mistakes that students make is applying for their education loan too late. I've come across students who have reached out to us for education loans probably just 2 or 3 days prior to the visa interview, whereas it is not. While, see, it is possible to get a loan approval in this time frame, but it also depends on the season you're applying. So if you're applying during a very busy season, lenders would also be processing thousands of files. So we have to take all of this into consideration. While it is possible to get a sanction, in the event that the loan is not successful, then the student is almost left with no time to arrange an alternative, and they end up missing their visa as well as their intake. And another, so this is one common mistake that students end up making. And another is when students did not evaluate all the loan options that are available. So there are a few students who go ahead with yeah, there are a few students who end up going with the first loan, or like first loan approval, which might not be their best. It might be too expensive for them, or it might not cover their entire requirement, or it might or the rate of interest would be extremely high, whereas they would be eligible for a lower rate of interest as per their profile. So these are two common mistakes that students make, and ways
Right,
to
absolutely.
yes, and ways
Yes.
to avoid it, it would be to apply in advance.
Yes. Yes, yes, absolutely. Apply early on in advance and make sure you check all the offers and get the best result, which is why we are here to help you get the best offers. Now, next question is about the admission offers from colleges. So, does that impact their entire application process, the admission offers from college? And should students wait for their offer before applying for an education loan, or should they apply after they already have their offers?
Right. So as I earlier mentioned, it is not necessary for students to wait for an offer letter to start their loan application process, whereas the loan offer would also depend on the university ranking. Now, lenders categorize universities into two. The first is premium universities, and the second is categorized as others. Now, premium universities, for premium universities, the loans come with a lower rate of interest and a higher sanction limit. A higher loan amount can be availed for premium universities. Whereas for universities listed in the others category, the rate of interest will be sanction limit would be slightly lower.
Okay.
Yes. And while applying to universities, it is also very important to evaluate the return on investment and the scope of your future careers. This is something that lenders give a lot of weightage to. And yes, so it is important to select your university or school wisely. And it does influence the rate, the offer, the final loan offer. But it is not. See, arriving at an approval can be done, but lenders will give you your final loan offer once you confirm the university. So it is possible to check your loan eligibility before your, even before you get your loan offer, but before you get your confirmed offer letter, but your final offer will come through once you submit your final university name to the lender.
Right, right, okay. And I think this was a very important question to address on this session, because we do get a lot of DMs from students asking, they haven't even selected on a university yet. More often than not, they just say that we want to go to Europe, or we want to study in Canada. So can you provide us with a loan offer? So I think this question, the answer that you have just shared, I think this is going to be very helpful for a lot of students that are watching us right now. So next question I would like to take from the comment section here, which is this question is from Sagar. He wants to know, what's the biggest myth about unsecured education loans?
The
So
biggest
please
myth.
explain a bit about unsecured loans, and then address the question, which is the biggest myth.
Oh, the biggest myth. All right. So,
Yes.
uh, so one of the biggest, so basically unsecured loans are loans that are given to students without keeping any property as a collateral. By collateral, I mean, you're not, a lot of students assume that it is very necessary to attach a property or keep some kind of collateral in order to get a loan. So this is something that, students should be aware of. Now, these days, lenders are willing to fund up to 1 crore depending on the university admits that you have. So one of the biggest myths is that it is not possible to get a loan without property.
Right.
Yes.
Really, the entire idea of unsecured loans is a big myth.
Right. I mean, it's not possible to get a loan without attaching a collateral.
Right, right. So my next question is about the loan amount, which is again a very important thing for students to know, how much of the entire cost of education should be covered by education loans. So how should students basically estimate the amount of loan that they need to borrow? What are the different factors that they should consider?
Right. So Diksha, to answer your question, see, there is no standard answer as to the estimate of the amount that should be borrowed, because it differs from student to student depending on the available savings. Now, if a student has savings available, then they would require a loan, a lower amount of a loan to balance that.
Right,
However, in an ideal situation, it is very important to balance between savings and borrowed funds. All right. And
absolutely.
to arrive here, it is very important to start the financial planning from a very early stage.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right. And it is very important to responsibly plan how you would be repaying the loan that you would be availing. And in like today, I think, I would say the average ratio, I would say, for loans to savings would be 60 to 40%, so that you're not overburdened yes.
Sorry, could you
So you're not,
please repeat?
yes. I would say the loans to savings ratio should be 60 to 40%, so that, by the time you graduate, the student is not overburdened with, the task of having to pay such a huge loan. It is very important to balance.
Right.
Yes.
Great. Well, next question is from the audience again, which is it possible to apply for an education loan again if my first application was rejected? I think it's a very interesting question, because one of the USPs of EduFunds is something related to the answer. So would you please take this question, Krishna Priya, which is it possible to apply for an education loan again if my first application was rejected?
Yes, it is of course possible to apply for an education loan if a previous education loan was rejected by one of the lenders. You still have many other lenders to apply to, and each lender has their own risk-taking capacity. So there are many lenders who can take up your loan application. So it is possible.
Right, absolutely.
And what we do, so we help students to so it is very important while applying for an education loan that you do not put all your eggs in one basket. Try to, apply to at least 3 to 4 lenders, so that if one of them are not able to fund you, you have 3 others to back you up. So that is exactly what we do at EduFund. We do not just apply to one lender, we apply to at minimum 3 to 4 lenders. So you will have at least one from them, one or two.
Right, right, absolutely. So we are unfortunately reaching towards the end of this session. I would like to conclude this session with one question, which is, if you have any examples or case studies you can share where delaying the loan application by an applicant cost them their, entire education plan.
Right. So, as I earlier mentioned, I would like to take this because I have come across a couple of students who this has happened to, and I have seen students applying for their education loans very close to the visa interviews, and
Right.
after applying, due to X, Y, Z reasons, they're not able to arrange the required financial documents to be able to get the decision in time. So they end up missing their intake as well as their visa interview. I mean, like they don't end up getting their visa to be able to attend the intake. So it is very, very important to start it should be sorting out your finances should be the first step in your study abroad journey.
Right, right. Absolutely. Yeah, it is very important. As throughout this session, I think this is something we have addressed, which is apply early on, apply in advance. So you have plenty of time to prepare for your entire application, plenty of time to do other things that you need to do before leaving the country or before going to your college.
Right.
Well, this was an amazing conversation with you, Krishna Priya. Thank you so much for taking time and joining us. And I really hope our audience was able to get a lot of their questions and queries answered. Yeah, very much. Thank you so much. And I would also like to let our audience know that we will be coming back with such live sessions every other Wednesday. So do stay tuned for the next live session and good luck.
Thank you, Deeksha.
Thank you. It was great having you. Thank you.